Good day, math buddies! For this video, we will be learning all about mathematics. So just buckle up, relax, and all together, let's learn in an interesting and exciting way.
For today's video, let us be guided with this objective. Derive a quadratic formula. Let us first remember the standard form of a quadratic equation, and that is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Let's remember this. Quadratic formula originates from this equation. So we will derive a quadratic formula, and that is x is equal to negative b plus and minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let's remember this. Quadratic formula is a convenient way used in solving for the roots or solutions of a quadratic equation. Quadratic formula is derived from the standard form of a quadratic equation by completing the square. These are the steps in completing the square. Divide both sides of the equation by a, then simplify. Write the equation such that the terms with variables are on the left side of the equation and the constant term is on the right side. Add the square of 1/2 of the coefficient x on both sides of the equation. Express the perfect square trinomial on the left side of the equation as a square of a binomial. Solve the resulting quadratic equation by extracting square root. And lastly, solve the resulting linear equation. So this time, let us derive the quadratic formula. Again, it is from the standard form of a quadratic equation. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. First step we had is to divide both sides of the equation by a and simplify. So we will divide both sides by a. Ax squared divided by a becomes x squared, while bx divided by a becomes b over ax, while c divided by a is c over a. Of course, 0 divided by a becomes 0. Write equations such that the terms with variables are on the left side of the equation and constant term on the right. This means c over a will be transposed to the right side of our equation. Using subtraction property of equality, we will subtract both sides by c over a. Thus, we can eliminate c over a on the left side, leaving x squared plus b over ax is equal to negative c over a. Next, add the square of 1/2 the coefficient x on both sides of the equation. So what will we do? We will get first the half of b over a. That is through dividing it by 2. In dividing fraction, we learned to get the reciprocal of our divisor and proceed to multiplication. And in multiplying fractions, multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. It will lead us to a result b over 2a. Then, to have our third term, we will get the square of 1/2 the coefficient x. And squaring this will lead us to b squared over 4a squared. We will add this to both sides of our equation. That is b squared over 4a squared, making the left side of our equation a perfect square trinomial. We will express the perfect square trinomial as a square of a binomial. This means that our perfect square trinomial will be written as quantity of x plus b over 2a squared. It will be placed on the left side of our equation, while negative c over a plus b squared all over 4a squared will be combined. First, look for their common denominator. In this case, 4a squared is their common denominator. 4a squared divided by a, that is 4a, times negative c, the product is negative 4ac. while 4a squared divided by 4a squared, that is 1, times b squared, that is b squared. So, the simplified form of our right side of our equation is negative 4ac plus b squared all over 4a squared. Extract square roots and simplify. We will apply extracting square roots. Therefore, the simplified form is x plus b over 2a is equal to, copy the radicand, square root of negative 4ac plus b squared all over. Square root of 4a squared becomes 2a. Then, we can write this one as x plus b over 2a equals square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Then, get rid of our b over 2a on the left side of our equation using subtraction property of equality. Therefore, the simplified equation is x equals negative b plus and minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This is now our quadratic formula.